Question of the day. You got a question of the day?
No.
All right, then. What's up, y'all, and welcome back to the channel. I have my guy Blake here again. As you all watched in our previous video, you saw our draft order, our thoughts about fantasy, and where we want to be in the draft. And in this video, we are going to jump in to our top 25 fantasy football rankings. This isn't necessarily the top 25 players in the league, but it is where we would be thinking about drafting these players, our our value for these players in fantasy football. So most of them is position players. We don't really know who each other has picked.
I haven't seen your list.
Yeah, so it is our top 25. So let us know what we did wrong, what you agree with. Let us know down below. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe, hit the bell. That way you don't miss out on anything going forward. And let's jump right into it. The top 5, we're just going to go through the top 5 back and forth. And we'll see what we have different, talk a little bit about it. We're going to go from there. Question of the day. You got a question of the day?
No.
All right, then. All right. You got to have, what's the question of the day? Who would you take with number 1 pick, okay? That's what it's going to be.
I mean, I feel like I'm more interesting than that.
Okay. Give me something.
Who has the best throwback jersey or like color rush jerseys or something?
Okay. All right, here we go. So let's jump right into it. First off, question of the day. Blake, it's all yours.
Who has the best color rush jerseys? Comment down below and let us know what you think.
What would your choice be?
Ooh, it's tough to go against those Patriots navy blues.
See, I have one that beats that.
Let's see.
Some people don't like it, but the Seahawks, that lime green.
Gosh.
I like it. I'm here for it. So
You are extra.
my top 5, in my order, I have Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Kamara, David Johnson, and Devontae Adams. That's my top 5. What you got?
Okay, number 1, I'm going Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Hopkins, and then Devontae Adams.
Okay, so I have David Johnson in mine. You have Adams in yours.
Devontae Adams.
Or Hopkins in yours.
DeAndre Hopkins.
And I'm fine with that. Top 3, we have the same 3, different order, and you really cannot go wrong with the first 3 picks of this year's draft. Why did you say Saquon at number 1?
I mean, if you just watch him run the ball last year,
It's incredible.
behind that makeshift offensive line they had in New York, Eli didn't have a great year. A lot going on with that offense, and to still see him produce week after week after week and put up monster fantasy numbers, he's a surefire number 1 in my book.
The good news is they have Daniel Jones now.
Well, I heard 6 overall.
I know. I heard a lot
What are
of.
they doing?
I heard a lot of experts talking about Saquon. They're going to be down a lot, so they're going to be passing a lot. They're going to have a bad defense, bad offense, and everyone was just like, that was the same thing last year, and he still crushed it. What do you know? What he finished overall last year?
I don't.
I don't know. It had to be top 5, but anyways. I think Gurley was number 1, even with
A bum knee.
finishing with a bum knee at the end of the year. But with saying all of that, Adrian Peterson, I believe, is the only running back in the past 10 years to get RB1 and then do it again the next year. It just doesn't happen much. And obviously I don't think it's going to happen with Gurley this year. So the trend keeps on going, and we see it year after year. It's true. And then I have Christian McCaffrey, and for me, it was just simply the snap percentage that he was on the field. 97% of the snaps that they were on the field with their first team offense, he was there.
That offense that Carolina runs, I mean, that's perfect for a receiving back like Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I think Cam Newton's going to have a big year, bounce back this year too, because he was killing it last year until he had his shoulder problems, but until about week
No,
13, 14, he was absolutely killing it.
I 100% agree. I think Cam Newton's going to have a good year. If his shoulder's good, I think he's going to have a good year. DJ Moore is going to have a good year, and then Curtis Samuel as well. I think all of the Panthers are going to be good, but it all depends on Cam Newton, other than Christian McCaffrey.
I agree,
in my opinion. And then I put David Johnson in there. I think the Cardinals, they're going to have a fast-paced offense. Kyler Murray, everyone's talking about him. But let's not forget about David Johnson, what he was a couple years ago. He did have an injury that kept him out all year, but it wasn't anything like a knee or ACL or anything like that.
Bit me pretty hard last year in my fantasy draft because I took him near the top, and he did not pan out for me very well. So.
See, he had a quiet year, but he was still top 10 running back.
Yeah.
And if you're top 10 running back, in my eyes, it's just like, wow, if you can do that with nobody watching, I'll take it. I think they can't get worse, so I think he goes up this year. And then Adams, I think Adams is the top wide receiver in the draft this year just because he has Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to have a healthier Aaron Rodgers this year. Touchdown after touchdown. He gets a lot of red zone targets. That offense is going to be good, but Hopkins, I can't complain with Hopkins being, your top wide receiver in the draft.
He had 0 drops.
Really?
Last year. If it hits his hands, he's catching it.
He's really good, and Deshaun Watson is really good as well. Young quarterback, young wide receiver. I'm not going to argue with anything like that. And if you saw in our previous video, I will leave that down in the bio. But there aren't really many misses with these wide receivers.
Not at all.
Like, you can't mess up by taking these wide receivers.
They're going to get high volume. They're going to have the ball in their hands, and these guys are game breakers. So they're going to make a difference on your team.
And I think a large part of that is because they're not getting hit every single time they catch the ball. They can go out of bounds. They can do random things. But a guy like Gurley, who is at number 7 for me, I'll go ahead and say my number 6 was Hopkins. 7 is Todd Gurley, Le'Veon Bell, Julio Jones, and Ezekiel Elliott. There's a lot to get into with this one. Todd Gurley, everyone is down on him this year, talking about his knee and he's not healthy. But I hope he falls, put it that way. I hope people sleep on him, and I hope he falls. And I hope I'm able to get him late with good value. I think he's going to have a really big year. Anybody in that Rams offense, let me get a piece of.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, beyond Gurley, you've got Cooper Kupp and all that.
Robert Woods,
those wide receivers.
And Brandon Cooks. I mean, it's stacked.
Is Goff a franchise quarterback in your opinion?
Well, funny you should say that. Someone was saying that he's just a system quarterback. He's good because Sean McVay. And then someone said this. They said Tom Brady's only played behind Belichick.
The GOAT.
Is he a system quarterback?
Oh, come on.
But you get what I'm saying.
I understand.
He's never played behind any other quarterback. Tom Brady's the GOAT. Don't get me wrong. So, but it's a fun topic to say, and I could see Goff being a lot like Tom Brady. He doesn't scramble. He doesn't get hit much. Smart guy. Doesn't turn over the ball much. I wouldn't be mad about letting him run my team.
Oh, absolutely.
Smart guy. And then Le'Veon Bell. A lot of people are. One more thing about Todd Gurley. They're saying his touches are going to go down. Last year, he had some touches that were kind of irrelevant. He was just getting it to get the ball. But if you only take half of his touches and all the red zone touches that he's going to get in that offense, I think they're still going to be very valuable. And that's why I have him so high up and higher than other people in fantasy football. Le'Veon Bell. It's going to be sketchy, but I'm here for it. I think that he's going to be fine. I think that he's going to really prove people wrong and
Le'Veon's going to prove people wrong?
Kind of prove his worth. I think so.
He's great. Sam Darnold running that offense, I just don't see it.
Yeah, I think Sam is going to have a big year.
All right,
all right.
We might have to wager on that.
We'll have to have a water bet for that.
Let's do it.
All right, and then you're 6 through 10.
So number 6, I come in with Julio Jones. He's a model of consistency. Last year, he kind of had a tough time getting in the end zone.
But then once he found it,
he really started to rack up those fantasy points for you. At 7, I've got Odell. That offense in Cleveland is going to be clicking. They got the run game. They've got Landry. They've got Njoku. I mean, Baker Mayfield. I love that guy.
Lights out this year.
So that was 7. Number 8, I come in with Michael Thomas from the Saints. Again, consistent. Drew Brees is going to put the ball in his hands whenever he gets the opportunity because they always score a lot of points in the dome.
Right.
Number 9 comes in with Todd Gurley. He could be the best running back in this entire draft.
Maybe the best value for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
if you can get him at the end of the first round, by all means.
He was the number 1 running back last year. He's still like 26 years old.
Yeah, he's
young.
He's in his prime.
Prime time for him, so I agree.
And then coming in at number 10, I've got Le'Veon Bell. I know I was kind of ragging him earlier, but
what he's done.
His running style, the way he operates behind an offensive line, the way he finds those extra 2 and 3 yards, it's really going to come up big.
And it's one of those things that the numbers do not lie with that guy. He's just as good of a receiver as he is a running back. A lot like Christian McCaffrey and Kamara and Barkley. What makes them so valuable? Le'Veon is that, and maybe then some. But I think we've all forgot how good he really is. And then I have Julio, Roll Tide, but Ezekiel Elliott. We're going to get into this a little bit later on with this drama and what we think about it. A lot going on. I had these rankings actually done before the whole Jerry Jones and Ezekiel who.
He threw him some shade today.
He did. So
and Zeke didn't like it.
He didn't like it. And I don't know how I would feel about Ezekiel Elliott either. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. I will get into that just a little bit at the end of this video. But, okay, so at number 11, Odell Beckham Jr. I think he has a huge year. I think if he stays healthy, he's going to be the best wide receiver in the league.
He has had a tough time staying on the field, but when he's out there.
Yeah, that's one of my bold predictions, and it's kind of crazy to say that Odell Beckham being the number 1 wide receiver is a bold prediction, but when you have Hopkins and Julio and Adams in front of him, I think that's fair to say that's a bold prediction from what he's did in the past. If he's healthy, I'm going to say he is the wide receiver 1 of the year. Michael Thomas at number 12, Joe Mixon, Mike Evans, and Tyreek Hill is 11 through 15 for me. Tyreek Hill, if he touches it, he has a chance to score. Mike Evans, he's kind of a boring player, in my opinion, when it comes to fantasy football and football in general. He kind of gets forgotten with Tampa Bay and famous Jameis. But I think he has a good year. Joe Mixon, can we get this guy on a better team? I think if he was on a better team.
Why is Andy Dalton still their quarterback? That's the question.
Let A.J. McCarron play.
I mean,
put me in, coach. And then Mike Thomas, for the reasons he said. I mean, Drew Brees throwing it to him. He just made $100 million. He
got paid.
He got paid, and I think it makes them hungry. And makes them want to prove their worth. In baseball, it's kind of the opposite. You get paid and you kind of can relax a little bit. But in football, I think it definitely fires them up. Who you got 11 through 15?
So 11, I come in with Joe Mixon. The way he runs with a purpose. Need that man a new quarterback, though. Number 12.
And a new offensive line.
And a new coach.
Yeah.
Number 12, I come in with Nick Chubb. That Cleveland offense, again.
Firepower.
They've got playmakers all over the field. And when you have that kind of passing attack, guess who's going to be gutting those defenses up the middle? It's going to be Nick Chubb.
Let me say this real quick. Nick Chubb is not in my top 25. Do I love him this year? Absolutely. Does it scare you having that many mouths to feed?
Oh, not at all.
And does it scare you about Kareem Hunt?
Because if I know Freddie Kitchens, I know he likes to spread the ball all over the field, but the core of the NFL, if you can run the ball, you can win. And
that's Bill Belichick.
Exactly. Well, I mean,
he'll run it with anyone now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who's running the ball for him. So that was number 12 with Nick Chubb. 13, I've got Ezekiel Elliott. He's as talented as any running back in the NFL. He's kind of being a diva right now. He's trying to hold out with 2 years left on his contract. So not really sure what kind of leverage that he has in a situation like this. These rookie deals, they can get a little bit ridiculous, especially for a running back. 5 years.
That's the problem.
Or is it 6?
It's 5, and then they have a 6-year option if they get the franchise tag on them. I think the rookie contract is what the problem is for the whole NFL right now, especially for the running backs. I do not blame a person like Ezekiel Elliott and Melvin Gordon on wanting to get paid, especially in their prime. I mean, these franchises are using them, running them to death.
The number of carries these guys get is insane, especially when you're a top-tier running back like Zeke. He's a 3-down back.
Right.
And so
he is historically good. That's the thing. Like, I get it, he does have 2 years, but at the same time, he's already did things that people are not doing with 2 more years.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's a tough situation. The NFL is the problem with that. They should make the rookie contract. Maybe if it's just the top 5 rounds or something like that, it's only a 3-year deal. That way these running backs can get paid after 3 years, and there's no holdout, no big-time players like this sitting out. That's my thing.
Completely.
So,
number 14. This one may be a bit of a reach here, but I think this guy has a huge year. It's Kerryon Johnson for the Detroit Lions. I am an Auburn fan, but when this guy was on the field last year, he was splitting carries, but he can get the job done. He runs hard. It's hard for one man to bring this guy down. So I think he's going to leap up into that next tier of running backs and really help out fantasy.
He's a 3-down back too, as well.
Absolutely.
And then, they got rid of Theo Riddick. They got rid of LeGarrette Blount. And he's one of my breakout players this year. I love him as a fantasy player. And I think he's going to have a huge year. I agree with you there.
And then coming in at number 15, Travis Kelce. This may be a bit of a reach as well compared to some rankings, but when he's on the field, he's basically a wide receiver in your tight end spot. Him and Tyreek Hill, I mean, they complement each other incredibly. And when you have someone like as talented as Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball to you, the sky's the limit for Kelce this season.
Yeah, Mahomes is pretty good. And it's all in your preference on whether or not you want to take a tight end early. There's 3 tight ends this year: Kittle, Ertz, and Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is the one that if you take him, you have a clear-cut advantage at tight end every single week. And I do think it's worth it. But it has to be the right pick, the value pick. What do you think? Do you think that you see yourself taking one of these top 3 tight ends this year?
If I can get a good spot coming back in that second round, I'm taking Travis Kelce 10 out of 10 times if he's still on the board. If I'm at the end of the first round, pick 8, 9, I'm going to try to swing Travis Kelce coming back, maybe pick 15, 16 in the second round.
See, we're letting our league know about this. So it's going to be tough to win this year, but I'm ready for it.
Oh, I'm absolutely
I can't wait. And my league can just know that I'm not taking these guys. I'm going to try to load up, whether it be taking wide receivers or running backs, whatever's there. I am going to be drafting for value. That's what I would recommend for you guys. Draft for value. Don't draft for your strategy. Whether you want to come in and say, okay, every other pick I'm going to go running back, wide receiver, or running back. If you have 2 good running backs and a guy like Kerryon Johnson falls, take 3 running backs.
Oh, absolutely.
Or 4.
Best available player for sure.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying, just, he's at the top, take him. Make sure it fits. But if it's valuable, absolutely take it and figure it out later.
Right.
You can work the waiver wire, you can trade. There's so many options, and that's, I love trying to be the GM on the draft night.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love it. So, Travis Kelce, I'm with you there.
Cool.
And then, so that was 15
that
for
was
you.
my 15.
Okay, so, and then starting out 16 through 20 for me, James Conner. He is number 16 for me. I think he has a really good year. I think people sleep on what he did last year. Just because Le'Veon was out and they kind of was like, whatever.
He was a major player for people that picked him up in my leagues last year.
Absolutely. Major player. Probably a league winner. He's one of those guys, and there's always going to be that guy. A running back that either gets hurt and you pick up his backup, or a guy gets suspended. Something crazy happens, and James Conner was one of those players last year in the preseason. Cool little number for you. I think they played like 21 snaps with first-team offense. He was on the field for 21 of those snaps. So he's going to be out there. They do have backup running backs and that may get some targets when he's tired. He's the clear-cut number one running back in the Steelers' offense, and I like him a lot this year.
And this Steelers' offense, don't forget, they lost 2 superstars. Le'Veon Bell is now gone. Antonio Brown is now gone.
Where'd he go?
So someone's going to have to step up and fill that role, and we know Mike Tomlin loves to run the football.
Right. And coming in at number 17, someone else that's going to fill that role for the Steelers. Do you like that little roll in? To Juju Smith-Schuster.
I've got James Conner and Juju at 16 and 17 on my list as well.
Love it. Love it. So Juju is one of my favorite players in the league. If you follow this guy, if you don't follow this guy, you need to follow this guy on Facebook, Instagram, or not Facebook, on Instagram and Twitter, and especially YouTube. He is such a good dude.
Oh, he's hilarious.
One of the best dudes in the NFL in my mind. And just kind of
someone stole his bike last year. He couldn't get to practice.
Get off of Juju, okay?
And Mia Khalifa, leave him alone.
Yeah, love Juju. I think he has another really big year this year. Antonio Brown is gone, yes, but I'm not really worried about a cornerback, overshadowing him and double covering him.
Does Big Ben start to decline this year?
Yes, he is one of my most
volatile.
I'm not going to say overrated quarterbacks,
okay,
but I don't really like him.
Okay,
fair.
He's wanted to retire. He's threatened retirement every year for the last couple of years now.
Like, get out of here.
Not really sure what he's got going on between the ears.
So, I'll say this. Something about Big Ben, and this isn't even about Big Ben. Aaron Rodgers. They say Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are the GOATs. Aaron Rodgers is not the GOAT in my mind. Tom Brady and Drew Brees. Those are only 2 comparable GOATs in the league right now, to me. You got championships. You got titles. You stay healthy. Staying healthy is a very good trait, by the way.
Tom Brady, 42 years old.
Yeah, 42. Phillip Rivers, by the way, never sits out. Love that guy. Iron Man. Doesn't cuss either. Way to go. From Athens, Alabama.
He's got like 15 kids.
That's right. So, in my mind, a better comparison for Aaron Rodgers is Ben Roethlisberger. Like, that's his comparison.
They have the same demeanor.
Exactly. I don't want... Is Aaron Rodgers the most talented guy on the field?
Absolutely.
And that can do more things than anybody else on the football field? Yes. But when it comes to accolades and career, he should be considered to Ben Roethlisberger rather than Tom Brady. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you 100%.
So, that's all I'm saying. I had to get that out. I had to get that off my chest.
Okay.
Tom Brady and Drew Brees, tier of their own.
Absolutely.
Keenan Allen, number 18 for me. Love Keenan Allen. Used to be an injury guy. He's kind of put that aside. Now he catches like 26 balls a game. Love Keenan Allen. Travis Kelce's at 19. And Antonio Brown is at number 20 for me. He's another drama guy. I'm a Raiders guy, but...
He filed his second grievance today, trying to get that helmet.
I know. At the end of the day, we're going to get you a helmet, AB, and you're going to play, and you're going to ball out. Derek Carr is going to have a huge year. It's all on the line for him.
Yeah, it's...
Make or break for Aaron Carr. He's already made his money, though. I'll tell you that.
I mean, he don't care.
No, you're fine, Aaron Carr. You do you. But...
Aaron Carr,
number 1 pick, though.
Aaron Carter, he does a halftime show, too.
So, there you go. That's my 16 through 20.
Okay, 16 and 17, like I mentioned earlier, we already hit on James Conner and Juju. I think they have great years for the Steelers. 18 coming in with Tyreek Hill. He's like a little bottle rocket. Mm-hmm. He's ready to explode and take something about 95 yards to the house in that Chiefs offense. 19 comes in at Mike Evans. He's obviously the number 1 option for Jameis Winston. He's going to be trying to get him the ball so he can eat some W's, whatever that means. And then number 20, Adam Thielen. This guy in Minnesota, in the Dome, they love offense up there, and they're going to get it done. Stephon Diggs is opposite him. I know that he's great too. They're getting Dalvin.
So comparable, by the way, those two guys.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the toughest draft decisions in my mind. When you're looking at players, it's like, should I draft Diggs or Thielen? Because they're going around the same.
Yeah, they're back to back. And then they finally get Dalvin Cook healthy. And
we hope.
Hopefully that he can stay on the field this year. So that Vikings offense, I think, is going to be very good this year. So that's my 16 through 20.
Okay, so I'm with you on those guys. I don't have Thielen in my top 25, but I wouldn't be mad to have him.
Right.
I'll tell you that. He is touchdown after touchdown. Last year he had a crazy amount, like 10 games in a row with 100-yard reception or with 100 receiving yards. That's nice.
Oh.
That is no defense in the NFL can stop you, and you're one of the smallest guys on the field. So
absolutely.
At 21, I have T.Y. Hilton. Andrew Luck is injured though, so I don't know about it. But I already made this list, and so T.Y. I love T.Y. He's so underrated, by the way.
He is underrated.
If Andrew Luck is healthy, easy top 10 receiver for me.
Yeah.
Easy. Kerryon Johnson's 22 for me.
Okay.
Dalvin Cook, Melvin Gordon, and Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is another breakout guy for me. Aaron Jones, Kerryon Johnson, breakout guys for me. That's going to be on a breakout episode for me, but I'm letting them in on a little snippet. Okay. And that'll be on a sleeper and bust and breakout episode coming up.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that. So that's mine. T.Y., Kerryon, Dalvin Cook, Melvin Gordon, Aaron Jones.
Okay. Coming in at 21 for me, Antonio Brown. If he can get his helmet situated and his feet situated, he could easily rise on my draft
Number
boards.
one wide receiver 4 of the last 5 years.
Oh, absolutely.
That is why I think the Raiders don't care what he's doing right now. Talent.
Gruden knows he's going to be on the field.
Absolutely.
Coming in at 22 for me, and this guy's a huge faller. He won't fall this far in your draft, but David Johnson comes in at 22 for me. He's been hurt in the past. New coach, rookie quarterback. They've got a lot going on in Arizona, and I think David Johnson is going to suffer because of it. I don't think that offensive line. It's a college style offense. I know Kyler Murray has been running it since he was in the 8th grade.
He hasn't took a snap under center, by the way, yet in the preseason.
And he won't.
No.
And I think defenses are going to tee off on the Cardinals, but David Johnson and his talent is good enough to sneak in at 22 for me. Number 23 is Julian Edelman. This guy is definitely a veteran at this point, but he does it year after year after year if he doesn't get suspended by the NFL. Tom Brady puts it on him, and he does things with the football. So Patriots, we know they're going to win 10, 12
Josh
games.
Gordon's back now, supposedly.
Right, so that outside threat is going to open up things for Julian Edelman in the slot. Coming in at 24 is Dalvin Cook. We kind of touched on him earlier. And then number 25, I've got to give some credit to Patrick Mahomes. I know that may be a little early for a quarterback in a draft, but this guy is an absolute stud. He's 5,000 yards waiting to happen with possibly 40 touchdowns. I know going back-to-back on numbers like that in a season is very difficult to do, but
that was basically his rookie season last year.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
first full year, and he comes out and gashes everyone with huge numbers.
Right. And one of my things to take off that, if you are going to take a quarterback, make sure it's Patrick Mahomes first. And I'm not mad at you. He has that position advantage every single week. He's going to be the QB1 without a doubt. And there is an argument. Usually there's not an argument on whether you should or should not take a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers last year was probably the QB1 on most drafts. What did he do last year? Not that much. Injuries, it happens. But Patrick Mahomes, so good. And it takes me back to another point when you were talking about David Johnson and Cliff Kingsbury. How do you not win with Patrick Mahomes? He's the best player in the NFL right now. And he couldn't win with him in college. But now he's a college coach. And highly touted prospective coach coming out of college.
Oh, and
he couldn't win with him.
He hasn't really won anywhere he's been. I mean, I understand.
Good looking guy though.
Oh my! I've got a man crush on Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, he's got it going on.
He's a good looking guy.
But anyways, he hasn't really won anywhere he's been. I mean, I understand it's tough to win at Texas Tech. You're
But you got Patrick Mahomes.
But you had Patrick Mahomes, and you still didn't do much with him.
Right.
I know you're competing against Texas and Oklahoma and those big-time schools in the Big 12. Then he spent about a week and a half at USC before the Arizona Cardinals came calling. So I guess he had to.
I feel like he's going to get in trouble.
I bet it was tough for him to leave
Right.
USC and all that is with USC.
He reminds me a lot of a Lane Kiffin coach.
Oh.
He and Lane Kiffin, that's what tier I have him in. So that is our top 25 fantasy football rankings on, what we think we would do, our, wide receivers, our running backs, how we would rank them. Only tight end that we had in our top 25 is Travis Kelce, and we would both agree with George Kittle, Zach Ertz. Those are the next two.
Right.
And it's just, after that, bye-bye tight ends. You might as well sleep on them and draft one later on in the draft. Guys, I appreciate you being here for this episode. It was a longer episode, but it's fantasy football time of the year. It's the best time of the year in my mind.
Definitely.
Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, absolutely.
That Dude Sports.
That Dude Sports. And share it with your friends. Make sure to comment down below. We'd love to hear from you, interact with you. Again, make sure to follow my guy Blake on Instagram and Twitter. I'll put his stuff down in the bio.